Greetings. Um, it's very triggering what's happening right now in America, in the world. But let's just acknowledge that it is triggering. We're being poked in the face. We're being poked. We're being messed with. It's not even just accomplishing the objective of DHS, Border Patrol, ICE. The way that they're going about it now, it's hurting their reputation. It's hurting their trust with the American people, and it's hurting their ability to actually accomplish the task they've been tasked with. Right? Which is kind of like, hey, we had a spaz of open borders, everything. We all know that was highly publicized under Biden. He did his part, which was to be like, "Durr, I'm retarded, and the borders are open." And so that leaves you feeling insecure. And now you're ready for some drastic measures to happen, some drastic deportations, although the numbers are still lower in total, like number of deportations, total numbers, still lower than previous administrations. But again, it's the way that it's happening, that you're just kind of deputizing spousal abusers, just deputizing anybody and giving them a $50,000 signing bonus and incentives to grab people, not illegal alien immigrants, illegals, not that necessarily, not the worst of the worst, Trinidad Aragua terrorists. No, it seems like if you just bring in people, brutalized people, bring in people, you get paid for that. No one's analyzing that pay structure, what the bonus structure is. If you're an ICE, what I need to know is if you're an ICE agent out for a day's work and you patrol and you see no one illegal, no one who needs to be brutalized or brought in, how much do you get paid just for being on patrol that day? And then if you happen to grab one person and sees them okay, then how much do you get for that? How much do you get per head? If you come back to the shop at the end of the day with no people versus 2 people, what's the difference, right? For you, your pay that day, your bonus structure, your pay. We need to be talking about these things. We need to know these things. It doesn't need to be some kind of mystery or two sides thing where people on one side think that they don't get, anything, and people on the other side think they're getting $1 million per head or whatever, right? So we're all misinformed. There's no baseline of facts about what's happening. And that's disturbing. That's a big part of the problem. That sort of confusion, it allows for speculation. And but what we can all see are videos of people being brutalized. And we know that they're not all the worst of the worst. Trinidad Aragua, even if they were the worst of the worst Trinidad Aragua, that person is already bad. The Trinidad Aragua, whatever he did to get initiated into the gang or to lose his soul, become a demon, whatever, that's all great. We can speculate about that forever. But who are we? Well, who are we as Americans? Who are you as a law enforcement person? Are you still human? Have you been trained by the IDF? Have you forfeited some of your humanity and turned into kind of a soulless, brutal thug? Or are you a real human? These are valid questions. But anyway, and now there's going to be a big protest, of course, national protest. It's going to have the feel, the look, the sound, and the feel of more of this kind of personality tit for tat stuff that we've been subjected to, this kind of anti Elon Musk, no kings kind of stuff. It's going to have that kind of vibe. And apparently there's allegations of funding from someone affiliated with the CCP, actual communist. Oh my goodness, my dad couldn't write this stuff when he was a super Reagan 80s guy. He couldn't even write this stuff. But so anyway, you got this guy, what's his name? Singham, Neville Roy Singham, something like that. Supposedly funding a lot of this stuff that's coming through all these 501c3s again. Once again, like this Friday or Saturday, it's going to be a big, giant 501c3 kind of protest. Some are calling it a strike, a general strike, and they're saying that they've done it successfully in Minneapolis now. They actually are, the ICE people are going to be pulled out. We're maybe going to have some accountability. I don't know. They're kind of claiming a victory in Minneapolis now. And let's take that nationwide shutdown, strike, nothing happens. No school, no nothing, no walkout. Okay, that sounds good. I've always been for this kind of a tactic, say to maybe end the genocide in Gaza or something like that. Or, there's lots of reasons to do it. End the brutality of people and citizens here under ICE. That's a great reason to do a general strike. And if that's the case, I hope it works out. I can tell you it's not being promoted that great around Oakland, and the outreach never is that great. It just seems like I hang out where poor people hang out. I'm in the poor people cohort. So I know what's reaching us. And I know what reaches my trust fund friends, or people that are more plugged in, more connected. And so, there's always this kind of two-tier thing. You have this beautiful little protest against Twitter and all these people painting murals, all this money, this 501c3 money, but I didn't hear about it. Maybe they don't like me. That could be. But also, just no one heard about it. No one at the cafe, no one around here, no one here in Oakland, no poor person here in Oakland, unless they're part of the poor person's network or part of one of these fake 501c3 things, whatever. But if they're not part of that or plugged into any of that group, they're not going to hear about it. It's going to just skip right over them. So there's no effort to actually mobilize the masses, to actually reach the American people. And that's always sad. When it's left or right, somebody should be doing outreach, at least explaining to them what's happening, what's available, what's coming up. So this Friday, we're going to be doing the shutdown in your city. You know what I mean? We're going to be wearing pink hats, and we're going to be coming out for Jeff Sessions. Woohoo! We're going to try to reinstall Jeff Sessions, because that's the kind of idiots we are. No, I'm kidding. But it said, to have some outreach to the locals, try to organize old-fashioned organizing ways, and then it won't have this horrible no kings inorganic feel to it, right? We need an organic, real grassroots, not more astroturfing, not more vague. We don't need vague. Climate change, just vague, just vagueness, Jeff. Just, I don't know, stop eating meat, climate change, I guess we don't need that. We need very good organizing that helps people. If they could ever get on the good foot and not be crisis battled, any minute, they could realize they need affordable housing and affordable health care and real communities and jobs and stuff like that. But anyway, have a good one. I want to say peace and love and good intentions to people out there, even family members, people that think what ICE is doing is good, think that there is some kind of righteous war on illegal alien invasion, some kind of replacement happening, whatever. If you're thinking that and everything, I want you to, maybe get some good information, learn what's happening, what's really going on. There maybe is some aspect of that, for sure. It could have been used to trigger you. That could have been done on purpose to trigger you. And what's wrong with being triggered? See? Well, the problem is at that point, you're ready to do knee-jerk reactions and or violence against other people You're ready to otherize people. There's there's a bad group, there's a good group. This is all when you're triggered. There's no nuance a lot of times when you're triggered. It's like vaccines are just all awesome or they completely suck. There's no, hey, I like this vaccine, I don't like that vaccine. I want to get this one. I don't want this one. None of that's possible when you're triggered. When you're freaked out and triggered, having a nuanced position is not possible. And you're also ready to commit violence yourself. You might be so triggered by Charlie Kirk. Somebody had told you it's not because Charlie Kirk is going against Israel now, but Charlie Kirk said some things about trans people 5 years ago. He was very cruel and dismissive of trans people. So we have those clips. We're just going to play those clips over and over again. And now you're triggered. You're ready to support violent action against Charlie Kirk, or to applaud violent action against Charlie Kirk, or to just be a not very human person yourself. And when you see him getting shot right in front of your face, rather than saying, gee, I didn't agree with that guy, I feel sorry for his family, you can't say anything like that. Instead, you say, he deserved it. Puh, puh. He deserved that. You see, in that attitude, that let a lot out. That when that happened, when you saw videos on YouTube, whether real or not, I think a lot of them were fake. I don't think it was real people doing that. But people, paid actors, influencers, what have you, online, looking like they're like, the other thing is like, you can tell when a person's really like kind of a transgender person or kind of an alternative type person or a person who just looks natural the way they are, eccentrically dressed or what have you, according to norms, from people in the 50s. A man in his 30s in a dress here in Oakland would be strange to a normative person in the 50s, a heteronormative whatever. Now it's nothing. It doesn't matter. We don't care. But there's still a certain part of the population that helps to trigger them. If they see it's a person with colored hair or something like that, then they're in that category. Once again, a cohort of divided, how we're being divided on purpose. And so they like to get the blue hair person on saying, Charlie Kirk deserved it. He deserved to get shot. His family, screw them. Just get all conservatives die. Just get that kind of people, get that online, make that prominent. And that's making you triggered, once again. So being triggered, rather than being logical, being short-term, reactionary, rather than being long-term, calm planning. We're always in the short-term reactionary. And with hate for other categories of people that don't have much more power than we do. A lot of times they have less power than we do, the people that we're mad at. Vaccinated people, for the most part, we're part of the 20% of professionals that serve the elites in this country, the higher paid professional class. A lot of times they embraced vaccines. They got better options. They got testing and better options throughout the whole thing and had a better interaction with the healthcare system. Other poor people, more working class people, might have been anti-vax at some point, said, hey, why do I need a fourth vax for a very pathogen that's already turned into the Omicron variety? It's already now no longer deadly. I've already had it. Why should I still be getting boosters? That kind of thing. So it was a real kind of a class divide too. Tended to be a working class person who asked those questions, who thought if they really needed a fifth booster in their face for the vaccine or not, for the virus that's no longer going around. So it's, oftentimes class, and we're never able to come together and ask relevant questions. What's happening? What's happening to us? What's happening to our country? What's happening to our mind? What's happening to our civil rights? The civil rights are really in the crosshairs. That's what they really want. They want us to get used to the idea that if a Hillary Clinton comes on TV and says, I just need you to go along with it. I just bayonet sodomized the leader of Libya, and it's going to be beautiful. It's not going to turn into an open slave market. We did that for a great, good reason. And there's a virus going around with a less than 1% death rate. But I need for all of you to lose your jobs and just go inside, and you're going to lose everything. Okay? Just go inside and become more dependent on the internet. Go inside and just get hooked up to the internet. I need you to do that. Okay? So that kind of bully narratives, the kind of elites telling you what to do, telling you how your transactions are going to happen, telling you when you can travel, all this kind of stuff. They really want to get you used to that. They want you to get used to the idea that there's going to be an expert that's going to tell you when it's safe or not. And that might be based on some kind of Nipah virus or some kind of bird flu thing or something. They're not through with the idea that there's a pandemic kind of, and therefore we all have to act a certain way, right? Poor people have to hide, and rich people can take over the resorts and the yacht lanes, and no longer encumbered by working class people. And that's fine. And then we can all do business online and be totally surveilled. So anyway, this is all part of this. It's all part of that. And I know we can't see that yet. It's not logical. It's not obvious. But all this cognitive dissonance, all this confusion, all this, and now people getting shot. That really is triggering, right? When ICE agents are just, whoa, who's that brown-skinned person in the car? Just grab him. Oh, Dad, grab you, grab Dad, grab Mom. Okay, brutalize Mom, grab Dad, and leave kid in the car alone. We're supposedly worried about child, rape and stuff like that, because that's why we're doing this, and then we're just leaving 3-month-olds alone in the car. That's kind of crap ICE is doing, right? So it's very unprofessional. It's very triggering. And there's no leadership. I haven't heard any leadership yet in this thing say, hey, you know what? It is really actually a shame that nurse was killed in Minneapolis. Here's what a real leader would say. Even if you're on the side of the ICE men, and you love the ICE, the Border Patrol thugs that are now out brutalizing people. If you love that and you're on that side, that's great, right? And you're buying the whole myth that they're just getting nothing but horrible illegals. Okay, cool. You're there. But, still, when Kristi Noem, the head of the DHS, comes out and immediately smears the guy, she doesn't know the real circumstances of his murder yet, but is happy to start smearing him. And Stephen Miller starting to call him a terrorist, right? Stephen Miller is the terrorist. Kristi Noem is the terrorist. They are the liars. They are the provokers. They are horrible. Stephen Miller is a horrible person. Horrible. And apparently Kristi Noem is too. And the ability of the government now to lie. Tell me about the lies, Jeff. It's an inside joke. But the lies, right? That is the problem. That's the thing that also makes you angry. That's the thing. I was watching people yesterday at work, how they would, at first coming into this, they didn't know anything about it yet. They were working, doing it. And then a little space would come and they could watch some video. And then I'd see them watch some video and they're kind of getting madder and madder. And at the end, after a third lie about the nurse, they're mad at that point, right? And so it makes you mad. It's very triggering. It's very alienating. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of Megyn Kelly or a fan or a hater. To me, she's just another news figure, another personality out there on the map. Right about some things, wrong about a lot of other things. Okay, sometimes good, bad. I don't worship or hate personality figures in the media world. You shouldn't either. You should take everything they say for the content of that message. And then just weigh that, and then, okay, and then, yes, it did come from Tucker. Okay, we got to weigh that a little bit. But anyway, but we lost Megyn in this one, unfortunately. She's so pro-ICE that she's turned against the Constitution, and she's just fell right into smearing the Alex Preddy as in the many ways that she was willing to smear him. And that's sad. So lost her. She's gone. Megyn's gone. We keep losing people to these these flashpoints. And that's what they are. They're triggered flashpoints on purpose, you're also losing your memory. You're losing your mind. You're losing your memory. One crisis after another, too many crises too close together, and you can't remember anymore. I can't remember. Like as soon as I think the thing that's really important right now is that what's happening with Iran, like how they're how the Mossad and the CIA are throwing. It's not even a color revolution. It's like an active, gloves off, just in your face revolution, right? An attempt to just attack Iranian infrastructure, kill innocent Iranians. Do it in the name of bad Iranians, good Iranians, whatever, whoever they're blaming it on, whatever, protesters, quote unquote. And so, people that are loyal to the Ayatollah, whatever it is, they're blaming the violence they're doing on protesters, and really going about a regime change operation in Iran. And war, gearing up for more war, more bombing. And so there's no logic. There's no sane head in the room. Where's the calm guy? He's just not there anymore. We don't have a calm guy anymore. What we have is conflicting narratives and war and domestic strife. And the vibe, in America, the vibe on the street. And I'm seeing those Black Panthers downtown, still. They're coming out of that museum every day with their little Black Panther gear on, and that's great. They don't ever seem to say all power to the people. I don't know if they still believe that anymore. It seems like that's over. It's more like pull down that 501c3 funding for little special niches, maybe little 5 units of housing for a certain group, and maybe a museum and some art and some paint and stuff, whatever, like some charter school, stuff like that. It's not really geared, it's not trying to be a mass movement anymore. It's not trying to be open. It's no longer open, right? You're not going to get some working class whites walking into a meeting and have the Black Panther chairman say, hey, I agree with what you say, all power to the people. We're not going to have that kind of a moment anymore because we're divided. And everything's kind of a fake movement of itself. There's no real grassroots movement right now for peace. Could have been a grassroots movement for peace. Could have addressed all of this. Could have been a part of the working class, organized respectfully. You don't ever single people out for their skin tone or their gender when you're working class organizing for peace. You don't do that. It's beautiful. Everybody's beautiful. You embrace them all and treat them according to their behavior, how they behave in the group. Then we're going to, okay, right? But they're coming in, oh, God, you're a white supremacist. I hate you. Get out. You're white. White skin. Go away. Let's alienate you. Make you feel like shit. Make you collective guilt you for something, whatever it is. Some stupid narrative that ruined the ability to get together. And that was by design. Also, the rich people I've been talking about, you see their memos, Powell memo, Paul Weyrick, these people, they've blatantly said out in the open, we don't want the plebes feeling comfortable talking to each other, organizing with each other. We want them talking about abortion. We want them talking about their penis. We want them talking about if they have a penis or if their skin is purple or whatever. We want them talking about these things. We don't want them uniting to stop a police state, to stop a coup in another country, a color revolution in Iran. We don't want them to be aware of what's happening. We don't want them to be able to stop it. Instead, we want to keep taking their money and building stranger and crazier weapons to suppress them with, building a more advanced surveillance state to monitor their financial transactions and their location history, all that, search history, location history. We're really interested in monitoring them, controlling them. We don't want to hear their views on peace and war. We want to be unfettered, just go to war, drone bomb who we want, just don't want to have to worry about that. Congressional war powers, that's also passé. And on the radio and the lefty media and lefty organizing, there's never any mention of the people that are actually doing these things, manipulating these things. The CIA don't get mentioned. Until recently, the DHS was never mentioned. I mentioned the DHS since their inception. I've been focused on the DHS since its inception, but no one else cared. 3-letter, 8 words, jab. Already crazy. Talking about the FBI. The FBI killed Judy Berry. They killed Judy Berry. They killed people. The FBI. They're not Robert Mueller, our friend, because Orange Man bad. That happened to your brain. That happened to you. The FBI is horrible. The DHS is horrible. The CIA is horrible. You should know it, and we should be talking about them on NPR instead of every day. Ian Masters. I love him on KPFA early in the morning. He's got his little show. Oh yeah, today I've got another guest. We're gonna talk first half hour on why Trump is horrible, and then the second half hour on why the people that think Trump is good are also horrible. And once again, never addressing any real power, any real decisions actually being made. We will never actually talk about that. And instead, what we will do is fascism, Trump, fascism. What's happening now? Trump fascism. And they're talking about things that are actually happening. Trump is actually doing these things. He's playing his role. But the media sucks, man. They can't even say the word CIA. They can't say the CIA. They can't say Mike Pompeo. It's really weird. They can't say Susan Rice. They can't say Peter Thiel. They can't say Larry Summers. They can't ever talk about anybody who's actually in power. They just can't do it. John Brennan. These are now passe. Like Victoria Nuland's up teaching a class. I think John Brennan, they've all gone into the academic. Go ahead and rape and make mayhem out in the world, and then we're going to take you over to the academic world now. Now you brutal mind raping CIA demon. But hey, here's a class for you over at Harvard, Columbia University, or some crap, But anyway, Jake Sullivan, I don't know. Libtards never talk about Jake Sullivan. They don't mention him. They can't see him. I'm not saying I'm the expert on this. I'm not saying come get the choice, detailed information from me. I'm saying this is where you start. You start with the name Jake Sullivan. You start with Raytheon. You start with a chronology of events on the ground in Ukraine. You don't start at February 2022. You start 2014, 2008. Ukraine. What's happening? Why is NATO and the CIA and creating this haven for biolabs and doing all the strange stuff? And Putin has said this is a red line. You can't have a base here. You can't do this is a red line, bro. We're trying to be really peaceful. We're not trying to build a base in Oaxaca, in Chihuahua. We're not trying to build a military nuclear base with nukes pointed right at you in Chihuahua. We're not doing that. So why are you doing that in Ukraine? That's red line, right? So look, now you do special military. You started killing a bunch of Russians. American lefties still don't even know that after they ousted Yanukovych, they actually killed thousands of Russian-speaking people in Ukraine. They don't even know that. They don't know Victoria Nuland. They don't know the phone calls she made. They don't know her role in fomenting all that. But they loved Zelensky. They got tons of beautiful... They all had picked the flag, the Ukraine flag. So if you're a good leftist, when you got this going on, you put the Ukraine flag on, and right next to your, everybody go out and get vaxxed. thing, and then Ukraine flag, and Russia bad, and Trump bad, and never mentioning the CIA. Do you see what's happened? Never mentioning the CIA, while they're manipulating, controlling all of that. And they got to Trump, obviously. After the 2020, Trump went in there with this whole other agenda, this whole idea. He'd been shot at and survived that. He thought he was kind of maybe untouchable. But no, here comes his cabinet. Pam Bondi. Oh, Geo Group, Deep State, bummer. Okay, then you get these like fake resistance guys, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel. One bad meeting with them, they walk out, the fear on their face was visible. They were Kash Patel was one guy 1 minute, and then after the scary people told him to shut up or what they were going to do or what's really going to happen in the FBI, whatever, well, after that meeting, he looks like a deer caught in the headlights. I've never seen a person who more looks and acts like a person just out of their mind. And they got to Trump too, obviously. Who are they? Israel? Is Israel a part of they? Is MI6 a part of they? I mean, I'm not saying. You tell me. It seems obvious. It's Mossad. But we're not talking about it. And people aren't going to be talking about it this Friday either. They're going to be hyper triggered. There'll probably be another shooting. Probably shoot another trans person or somebody really marginal. They'll kill another person, probably, So you'll be freshly triggered and still have Alex on your mind and Renee Good on your mind. Still be super freshly triggered and focused on something. But what will you be focused on? What will it lead to? What is it? Divisive? Is it leading to civil war in America? Is it providing solutions? Is it reaching out to the other side? Probably not. Is it going out to the communities that are being really terrorized the most by these ICE raids? Mexican Americans, people out there that have been really getting targeted by this are actually just hiding now, many of them hiding, having to make plans, or having to sneak to work without getting grabbed by some rando, How can we interview some of them? Can we bring them into the dialogue? I don't know. We need help. We need help. Pray for us. Think in love and outreach to the other side. And keep your eyes open. Don't react so fast when somebody's like, oh, this horrible thing. Look at this horrible thing. Take a step back. We're going to get some different footage. There's going to be different angles. We're going to figure out. I'm not going to rush to judge this. I don't know. All right, have a good one.